Lowlifes! It's the beginning of the league's third season. Gosh, can you believe it? 3 years. And it kicked off the other night with the dreaded draft for this ridiculously large fantasy football league. You thought we could ever go below 16 teams? Hell no. Just be glad the ghostwriter and commissioner didn't give in to the threats of having his house burned down if he didn't let 2 more teams in the league. God, could you imagine 18 teams? Also, Ghosty is asking for people to watch his house this weekend. Any takers? Well, let's recap this draft. First up, we had Alberto, the doctor of optology himself, picking first. He did play it safe with Jonathan Taylor. And then on the wraparound, he went all in with some Allens, Keenan Allen, and Allen Robinson. He kept his LA skill position theme up by going for Josh Jacobs, running back for the most popular LA team, the Las Vegas Raiders. He's riding with Jameis Crablegs Winston, who did get LASIK surgery last year. Some would argue it would be so he could actually tell the difference apart between his receivers and the defenders, but my conspiracy theory is that he got it solely to properly inspect the quality of a crab leg from any distance. Picking second, we had Matt Walters' whole 9 centimeters. He may be an assistant manager, but he was the low man on the totem pole as Sierra foresaw the shit show draft night would be and went to Tahoe. Thus, Big John embracing his inner Aerosmith and didn't want to miss a thing, leaving Matt buried in orders and having to mostly auto-draft a majority of the night. His team did come out all right, although Yahoo giving him an 8th-round defense is the only meh pickup at best and kind of irksome. Speaking of irksome, he got Kirk Cousins as his quarterback for the 2nd year in a row. Maybe Matt should suck up to the bosses a little more next year. Yeah, never mind. He's got enough sucking up at kicker with Ryan Suckup. Third, we had Jimmy, also known as the ghostwriter and the commissioner himself, who has taken on another title, the title of Mark Davis's barber. Game of Thrones called. They want their way too many titles for one person, joke back. There's a joke about him liking them young as he drafted 4 players with Junior in their names. He threw up a Hail Mary at tight end, taking Swervin' Irvin Smith Jr., and is running it back with his Philly boys by taking the Philly defense. May the cheesesteaks be plentiful in your favor. Drafting fourth with John Ryan and his team armed and hammered. While we welcome back the only team with an ampersand, we also offer our condolences to the divorce between the fantasy football couple as Larry Stone is no longer a co-manager. I hope the alimony payments of 2 pitchers a week aren't too stiff. Mr. Ryan bucked the conventional wisdom and went for Josh Allen with the 4th overall pick. He took James Conner on the next one, and considering the man has beaten cancer, why wouldn't he be able to beat the rest of Lamppost Lowlifes as well? The staunch Jets fan took the Pats defense and neglected to take Jets quarterback Zach Wilson, the slayer of MILFs. I'm calling it now. By week 4, he's going out with a pulled groin. Picking 5th was another John, and that'd be John Clive and his team can't lose to Gary, which I suppose is true as it's impossible to lose to a team manager who's no longer in the league, but I digress. It'll probably be can't lose to Tasker soon. He got auto-picked Justin Jefferson, then went high upside with Javonte Williams at running back. DJ Moore in the 3rd. The Browns fan eventually took Joe Burrow and took Albert's boy Daniel Carlson as his kicker. He even took Chase Claypool. He did eventually take the Browns defense and Nick Chubb's handcuff, giggity. Next up was Allen's It's-a-Me at the 6th spot. Unable to attend the draft because he had work or something, and I'm finding it increasingly likely he's an assassin working for the Triads. Anyway, he auto-drafted, but was able to assemble the names of T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp, and Zach Ertz, which is necessary to make the team name My Teacup Ertz. Didn't know inanimate objects could feel pain, Ghosty. Maybe he should just stick to the name Teacup. Drafting 7th was Caesar, who started with the King Derrick Henry, He actually made some non-homer picks for 3 more rounds. Yes, Deontay is a Steeler, but it was an okay spot to take him. But the 5th round Kenny Pickett might doom him. I know Mitch Kissin' Titties Trubisky sucks, but he's starting week 1 over small hand Kenny. Caesar went for the top kicker the next round and then took another kicker in the 11th, assembling 2 kickers on his roster. Thankfully, he didn't take a 3rd, or else we would have to get him a ghost costume and a white hood. Yeah, I get that one. Drafting 8th, somebody sing some Bon Jovi for me, was Bob's Butt Kickers. He opened boldly with double receivers, Chase and Cheetah, then went full homer with Elijah Mitchell and a 4th round Trey Lance. Can anyone tell me with a straight face he can reliably throw a 5-yard out route? That was Ghost Rider saying that, by the way, not me, because I think who fucking needs a 5-yard out route when he throws bombs all day? All day Trey area, bitches! Don't ask where that actually came from. Bob got backups for even his tight end, but nothing for his running backs. Anyone know if J.K. Dobbins is actually suiting up for week 1? For Bob's sake, I hope he is. The 9 slot had Fukin, also known as Captain Pancakes. Pancakes were a priority as he took Dalvin Cook in the first round, and a good value, most fantasy football talking heads would say. He then took the new Ben & Jerry's flavor Justin Sherbert in the second round, and in the 5th round decided Russ needed to cook a little bit more for his team too, taking a second quarterback in round 5. The pancake cook-off was not finished, however, as James Cook went off the board for him in the 8th. His final pick was Mo Alley Cox. Why did Ghost see this noteworthy? Because if you take the alley out of his name, it's Jimmy's favorite pastime, Mo Cox. Picking 10th was the first of our 3 league newcomers, Ray and his team Bone Crushers. He joined John Ryan in bucking conventional wisdom and went for Lamar Jackson in the first round, then parlayed that with Zeke in the second. How about them Cowboys? Oh God, what is that? Do we have a Cowboys fan in this league? Somebody ring the "We Dem Boys" alarm. Take cover. Hold on to your families. It's an abomination, I tell you. Boy, am I glad to see a Packers fan on the docket now, even if it is Sierra's TDs for the Triple Ds. Probably my favorite team name this year. She went underground for her first pick of Stephon Diggs and then took Lamar Jackson's favorite passing targets in Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman. Although, I think she just wanted to live out her antebellum fantasy of owning Rashad, but that's just me. She took a backup tight end in Robert Tonyan, mostly because of his hunky looks and them tight-ass pants. Ghosty, never write that sentence again, please. I don't care that she took Young Ho Koo in her last pick. Just never write it again. Picking 12th was another league newcomer in Dylan's team, Dilly, who stayed in the NFC South for his first 2 rounds, picking Kamara and Mike Evans. 3rd round, he went for Jackson's older brother, Patrick Mahomes. Wait, hold on, I'm getting breaking news. It's being brought to my attention that he is also a Cowboys fan. Well, that is so terrible to hear. There's 2 Cowboys fans in this league now. I guess we should appropriately welcome them with the swan song of their people from last season.
Prescott takes off running the football. Whoa, I don't think this is going to work out.
It will. They'll be able to clock this. They would plan for it. It's down.
Official gets in the way. The game's over. The game is over.
Oh, he did.
That's the end of the game. The game is over. The game is over, and San Francisco survives and advances.
And now that our doom is sealed, it's time to get to the 13th pick, Charlie's Darren Waller Ballers. He took Najee Harris and got swifty with DeAndre Swift in the 2nd before snagging Cortland Sutton in the 3rd. He held off on taking his wide receiver 2 until the 6th round, but it worked out quite well for him, as Marquise Brown was still on the board in the 6th round. This assessment is way too nice. How about I raise your rent if you win the league? Deal or no deal? Picking 4th was the Studley, the Incredible, the man who elicits more "oh yes" than the Kool-Aid Man, Alex and his team on the air and ground. Have I mentioned he's Studley? He opened with 2 running backs in Barkley and Mixon, and then hit receiver hard with Scary Terry McLaurin, Brandon Cooks, and Air Ayuk before nabbing a 6th-round Aaron Rodgers. He took the plunge on HGH boy Hopkins and took Denver's Brandon McGanus as his kicker. Ghosty dropped to the final N from McManus. I'm sure it was intentional. We move on. Picking 15th was the reigning champ of alcoholism and of this league, Rashad and his team ABC Easy as BBC. He snagged Devontae in the 1st round like he did last year, and went to recreate his success with George Kittle and Uncle Tom Brady in rounds 3 and 4. He also took Alberto's beloved Hunter Renfrow, monopolizing the Raiders' receiving corps. He struck gold at kicker with Robbie Gold. Anyone find it funny that the Niners have the one guy named Gold in the league on their team? If I had a nickel for every time I thought it, I wouldn't be doing this league. Picking last, but certainly not least, was Dominic's team, which doesn't really have a name, just a happy face. It's kind of a meh face. Is meh the sound the sheep make? My toys from when I was 3 years old taught me that. And that's probably why he took C.D. Lamb in the 1st round. He kept the farm theme up with a 4th-round Cam Akers, and he got an Adam Thielen because he was high on believing or something like that. He took Albert's butt buddy Derek Carr, denying the doctor for the 3rd year in a row. And speaking of butts, guess who got Harrison Butker? This guy. Well, folks, that's going to be it from us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for drafting with us. And thanks in advance for losing to me every week of the year, letting me go 17-0. Toodles!